everybody, welcome to another episode of Chamber Chat. I got another special guest in the car today. I'm gonna let her introduce herself and we will kick it off from there.
My name's Leigh Griffith. I am the owner of Vino Gifts here in Corvallis, and it's Bella as in beautiful and Vino as in wine. So everybody
Beautiful
forgets
wine.
the name, and then if you remember it that way, then you'll remember.
Because who doesn't like wine?
Well, if you
Nobody.
don't like wine, we're probably not friends.
So for the millions of people who are going to be watching this, who don't know what Bella Vino is, what's the scoop?
So it's custom gifts and gift baskets, gift boxes, and I use only Oregon-made products with mostly small family-owned and women-owned businesses in Oregon.
Why?
Why not?
Well, I mean, you know what's actually funny, because we're Facebook friends, you know.
Yeah.
You just came up on 10 years.
I did.
Doing this.
I did.
So rewind 10 years ago,
Uh-huh.
and a couple extra weeks, and you were like, "Hey, I'm thinking of starting this business." Why? What got you into it? Were you that person? You were always the good gift person?
I don't think so. I was just needing to find something else because my degree's from Oregon State in exercise science.
Okay.
And found out I have degenerative disc disease, and so it's this whole thing with my back. And so that wasn't something I wasn't going to be able to continue on with.
Right.
And so I was doing gift baskets for friends a couple of times, and then somebody somewhere, and I can't give them proper credit because I don't remember who it was, but they said, "Oh, you should sell these," and it was like, ding! I
Was it really?
should
Like that?
sell these.
That's how it happened?
Yeah, I have
Really?
no idea what I'm doing. Exercise science does not prepare you to go into gift business.
Yeah.
So I just started researching online, reading books, and next thing I knew, I had a website, and I was just doing it.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that. And so about 6 months later, this is up in Portland when I started this. About 6 months later, I was in a national publication, and obviously I was doing pretty well.
Yeah,
because
that's not bad.
I got the because back then it was the custom thing kind of wasn't a thing.
Okay.
And so it got their attention of like,
Sure.
You're doing what? You know.
And I think the custom thing is one of the most amazing parts of it. But for these folks, what do you mean by the custom thing?
So it's just basically dialing it into whether it's personal or business. If it's personal, it's just dialing into their favorite colors, the kind of foods they like, just thinking about the person and what is it that they would enjoy receiving. The corporate side is more of putting in the company branding on the gift boxes and baskets, so that you get your tax deduction.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Also, when it comes into a room, everybody knows, it's from that business.
Yeah.
So there's that. But it also is custom on the food and contents also, just based on who it's going to, whether it's their clients or their employees or for whatever situation it is.
So we've used you guys a bunch of times in the past, and certainly recently, and I'm always amazed. This is my deal. I'm like, "Hey Leigh, can you give me a gift basket in like 2 hours or like tomorrow?" And you come up with this. I was like, "What is going on in your house that you have all this stuff?"
You're not supposed to tell people.
It's a long process. It
takes weeks.
It's definitely. But seriously, I'm like, how do you do? I mean, obviously you've been doing it for a while, but
yeah, that's.
You have like a warehouse out back of like.
I do. So yeah, I have a 1,400 square foot shop that I do the assembly. I've got a food warehouse part also where I keep the foods.
The goodies.
Yeah. Just so like when it's a time maybe I'm slow, I can turn off the AC and the heat to the big old shop.
Save some money.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Now it's got to be. I would imagine it's fairly seasonal, right? Or there are high points and low, or is it?
On the personal side, well, okay, let me rewind that. For Christmas, that's the insane time.
Yeah.
Right. So that's separate. But really, because I'm so heavy into corporate, it's all year round.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
What's the craziest basket you've ever had to put together? Like where you're like, what? No. Well, maybe. I think I will do that.
Crazy. I don't know about crazy.
But like you get probably some pretty big events you've been doing them for, right?
Yeah, I've done a lot of different ones for events. I did one for Frozen on Broadway. So
really?
Yes, it did.
Like legit Broadway?
Yes, it went to the musicians underneath, that play when they, and then the cast. So
seriously?
Yeah. And so I did a little box that was, Frozen, and it had all women-owned products in there, and
this is Broadway in New York.
Yes.
So this is another thing that amazes me. Obviously, you could ship all over the place, but that's in New York.
Yeah.
And they're contacting little old Bella Vino over here in Oregon. How cool is that?
I know. A little lady in her backyard,
Yeah. Don't tell them that part.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. But that's pretty cool. Why is it? Why is it that big? Why is it? I mean, you're doing a fantastic job getting this out there, and if you haven't seen one of these baskets, by the way, we're not talking like, your standard little, I go into like Joanne Fabrics and get one of them little basket things and, put some crunchy see-through paper through it. You can tell I don't do this for a living. They're amazing. They are amazing.
Thank you.
How many of these things do you crank out in a year?
Oh my gosh, well, it depends on the year, but
sure.
Yeah, it varies because I can get orders from the corporate side for, I think the maximum order I got was like 800 for one order.
Wait, 800 baskets?
Yes.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Well, when I first started out up in Portland, my very first big order was from Daimler Chrysler, and it was 500. And I was literally in one little bedroom in my house, and I still don't know how I did it. Like, honestly, it had to be in shifts, and I had to deliver them.
So this brings up an interesting thing about small businesses, right? So now, I'm sure an 800 basket order is still a big order, right? But it's not like you're just like, oh, no big deal. But yeah, back then.
Oh yeah, it was huge.
To think of like getting, basket orders of that big back then, you'd be freaking out.
Right.
But now you're just like, meh.
But that's exactly why I focus on the small businesses that, a lot of them are working from home.
Sure.
And because it is that. And they're very appreciative, and they're great to work with, and the quality, it's just, you just can't beat it,
No.
And the customer service aspects,
Sure.
Once you get bigger, you do lose some of that. And so I just really enjoy it. And we have these little communities of women throughout the state that all have our own little businesses, and it's fantastic.
So I was going to ask you a little bit about that. So you said right at the start, obviously it's almost exclusively locally owned or local products or women-owned businesses. Why is that important to you?
Well, I originally when I was doing it up in Portland, I was just using the national brand.
Sure.
It was when I moved to Corvallis, and then was thinking about starting up again because I had taken some time off to have a couple kids because I had gotten remarried.
As you do.
Yeah. And when I thought about starting back up, this is when, the local thing was really just a big push. And I thought, that sounds like a great idea. And then I thought, well, it also will cut down on my carbon footprint a bit because I'm not getting shipments from, Tennessee or wherever. It's
Amazon sending stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. And so it all sounded just like, well, all that sounds great. And so while it has it does have its limitations at times, because I've pretty much, it's Oregon only, you know. Sure. So that does present some challenges at times, but overall, people really are drawn to it for that reason.
I was going to say the gravitating to it, right? It's got to be. That's obviously a big appeal for us as a chamber, but at the same time, it's like it's got to be, knowing that you're supporting other small local businesses, whether it be a winery, a chocolatier, or whatever it may be.
I get such this feeling in my stomach. I get so excited when I write a big check or make a big payment, and I know that sounds really weird. I love giving you money, but when I write a big check to a small, I love it. It's so satisfying.
And then to go another sort of, I don't know if it's a no-brainer question, but the women-owned aspect, that's important.
Yeah, and it's very popular, and I could probably drop everything I'm doing and just do that and
Really?
be just fine. Yes, it's really popular. And I am trying to expand it into getting more BIPOC businesses into it, because currently, you know, it's majority, you know, white women, but you know, it's been years and years of cultivating and trying to find these little small businesses, because that's really the challenge.
Right. So that was again a question: do these businesses exist, or they just don't exist, or they're harder to find? Obviously, we know, you know, there's very valid reasons why some try to stay under the radar, right? But it's they're out there.
They are, and a lot of them are just starting out, so that's part of the why I can't find them. Also, you know, for the women-owned businesses, a lot of them will make a lot of the same products. So, you know, I only need so many soap vendors, and so it's a matter of trying to find products that I need that are made by women-owned companies. Is the other side of it.
What's a misconception about your business? Or that industry, or I don't know if you call it an industry. I guess it is.
Gosh, you know, and I have watched some of the previous chamber chats, so I was ready for some of the other questions that you asked other people.
I asked tough, cutting questions.
And so now you're asking me all these questions.
I'm like very kind of, this is a serious interview. We'll get into talking about wine in a minute. No, I honestly, you know, and this is one of the things you are, you know, to pay you a compliment, which I know, you know, you're not always easy with, right?
No.
You're so Leigh has been helping us drive our, you know, starting to get us our Women in Business series kicked off, and you've been an invaluable resource, you know, for me personally and for the chamber for that. And it's important, you know, and I know this is a passion of yours, and whether you're uncomfortable chatting about it or not,
no,
but it is. It's a big thing for you.
It is.
You know, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's been for a long time. Just the whole, you know, activism in the women's space is just something that drives me, and it has, you know, that fire in my belly kind of thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Should we talk about wine?
Yeah, okay.
You're like, I guess.
No.
So one of the things we do on Chamber Chat, right, is as I'm sure you've done your research and been watching these things, you know, we talk about the business, we talk about, you know, what Vino is and all that good stuff, and why and how, but then we also like to talk about the person behind the business. Now it's about you, right?
Oh, no.
So if you're cool with it, you're right. We don't pause this, we don't edit this, and it's been suggested I may have to edit some of this. We're not editing everything. This is raw. Okay? Deal?
I think I'm doing pretty well minding my manners.
It's about your business so far, right? So now it's gonna go off a cliff downhill.
Probably, yeah.
Favorite movie?
I watch a lot of movies, so that's really hard, but
too bad.
My standard response back in the day was The Godfather.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because of that movie, or is it like you're a mobster type? You know.
I do like the mobster.
Really?
Movies. Oh yeah.
One of my favorites is Donnie Brasco.
Oh yeah.
I love that movie.
Yep.
Why The Godfather?
Al Pacino. I think that's one of his just best works ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I don't know. The whole mobster thing fascinates me for some reason. Yeah.
So you've had a hard day in your 1,400 square foot warehouse out back, right? You've turned the AC off because it's too hot. You calm down. You're like, I'm just done with putting baskets together today. You're gonna go outside. You're gonna grab a nice glass of wine. You're gonna sit down on your back deck or in your yard or something, and you're gonna listen to what? To chill.
Oh, to chill?
Yeah.
Billie Eilish.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Right on.
My ADD brain really appreciates that mellow.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be the one.
Mm-hmm.
Any other as a second, like as a playlist style? Are you into that type of music, or is just that, you know?
I'm
just them?
Such a like 80s love song person. I know we probably can't be friends anymore, but I am.
Man. The old was it the Richard Marx?
Yes.
Type stuff.
Yes.
Oh no. Really?
Yes. Candle, or lighter, that would be me in my living room.
That's great. You know, I do appreciate the 80s, but I'm a hair bands guy.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Wait. Yeah. Wait. You're. I feel like you just. And I was. No, you're not. Those 3 words, and you judged me significantly.
I was trying to hide the judgment.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't. You did very well.
Oh well.
All right.
Sorry.
All
no,
right.
no. Actually, no. I
Don't try and recover from it now.
I do. You can. I got people I can refer you to that will verify that I am totally into that too. If it's 80s, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure that I have it on my playlist somewhere.
Is that the best decade?
Clearly.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. So you're sat around, right? You've just finished listening to Billie Eilish. You're doing thing, and then you're gonna have your very last. Unfortunately, you're on death row for something you've done terribly wrong.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it took a turn. Yeah, I gotta find another way to rephrase these questions. This particular one. What is on your final meal? If you got one more meal that you can, and you can only eat one more thing or one more plate, what's on that plate? What's that look like?
I mean, it's gonna have cheese for sure.
Just a mound of cheddar.
I bathe in it probably if I could.
Are you that big of a cheese fan?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of food allergies, so there's very few things I can eat.
Okay.
And that's one of them that I'm great with. So, and there's so many different varieties, right? And so many like good ones.
Okay. But what's your favorite? You would really just have a plate of cheese.
I would totally just have a
That's your last meal.
I would
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, like lots of things.
Where to start?
Where we got?
We've only got 25 minutes.
Right.
What about something you've, well, maybe, because you got food allergies, so maybe that's a little bit a tougher question, but what about something you'd like never eat ever again? Something you have eaten, though?
Probably, well, okay, so cooked spinach is a thing from childhood that I have lots of PTSD about, because I can't, gag reflex.
Yeah.
So that'd be one, but sweetbreads is, it's the nice.
Wait, really?
What is that? The nice way to say brains and innards? Yeah.
Okay, no?
Nope.
Again, another childhood trauma thing, or you just like texture?
Nope, it's just, it was one of those Portland foodie things, and this is great. And I was like, oh, it's so not.
You're like, no, I'm never eating this again.
Right.
Is that a crossword person? No, I think they're pulling out.
Yeah.
You travel?
I would love to be traveling like all the time. I want to see the world. I think there's so much out there.
Where's the coolest place you've ever been?
I haven't been a ton of places.
Yeah?
No, I haven't.
That's all right. Where's the coolest place you have been?
The Caribbean side of Mexico is not too shabby.
Okay.
That sand, that water, oh my god.
Just white sand.
It's powder soft. It is just...
I've never been there.
Oh. And I don't like having things underneath me that I can't see, so like the water's so crystal clear that I can see stuff. So
my wife is exactly the same way.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
Oh, you have?
Yes, we have.
She won't go into even like rivers, like even like wading, like this deep. Won't do it because you can't see the bottom.
Yeah.
What are you afraid of?
I don't know.
What's gonna get you?
Well, because I've been in that situation and had things like swim by my legs, and it just freaks me out.
What about a bucket list place you still want to go?
Oh my gosh.
One place in the world.
Oh, I have so many, but so recently my hobby is genealogy the last couple years.
Really?
And so so I've been doing that, and so I definitely have to go to Scotland, Ireland, and England because like 98% of my DNA is from there.
One of those places is super cool.
I'd take all of them.
Genealogy? What got you into that?
My grandmother actually had started doing things. So this is back, before the internet, and so she, actually have to go into libraries and do the
through the cards and the microfiche.
The microfiche. Yes, and so she had this big thing with like paper taped together that went on, and one of the ones went back all the way to like 1066, and I was like, oh,
Battle of Hastings. That's
really cool. And so it just, and then now with all of these different sites that you can go on and pay for, and so I do MyHeritage, and for the last couple of years it's just been so fascinating to find out all these people that I'm related to.
Is it like fascinating from a like just knowing about them and seeing how wide it is, or any scary stuff in there?
Well,
You're like, oh,
I mean,
you're
I don't know
my
if you know
cousin,
it.
huh?
I don't know if you kind of like sensed it, but like I'm like come from a lot of royalty, and so
definitely picked up on that.
Yeah.
Right away.
No, it turns out that once you're related to kind of one king and queen, that you're kind of related to a lot of them, because there was a lot of that interbreeding. And...
I didn't want to go into that, because that's part of my like history as well. But yeah, you're dead on.
It was a little bit.
The branches get a little thinner as you get older.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of that, and it actually, so Nantucket, basically, my entire family, like there was like
it's just a few different. Line.
There's a few different names that founded, Nantucket. I shouldn't say it that way, because really they took it from I think they called Wampano Indians. So that's there's a lot of shade parts within the whole genealogy thing. But yes, they when I was doing that part of the tree, it's all the different last names because they all married each other, and it just it's a lot of inbreeding. And what do you get? I guess you get a gift basket, lady.
Do you in the case of a head basket, do you think you make a good monarch? How would you do as a monarch if you have that monarch blood in you?
I don't think so.
A fair queen? Or off with your head?
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's because I ask for maybe too much feedback. Like you ask for opinions, and you're gonna get like a lot of opinions, and then I get kind of like, oh well, which ones should I go with? You know?
And I don't like that feedback. So
right, but I want everybody to feel like they've had their say in a part, and so I don't think that I have that mentality of like, it's my way and this is how we're doing it.
Although that's your business, you're the only employee there.
Well, okay, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I have my minions that would be very offended by you saying that.
Oh, sorry. Okay. We'll ask them how you are.
Yeah, no, they're great friends who help me when I have the big orders, because they love to help out. So.
And you pay them in wine, I hope.
We do wine and food, and it's kind of a party, and sometimes I do need to dial it back, because it's like, we really didn't get a lot done, did we?
No, probably not, right?
Too much wine, not enough work.
If you could meet anybody who's I don't know if it's a celebrity, a famous person, somebody who's alive right now, who would you like most to sit down and have dinner with?
Michelle Obama.
Yeah?
Yes.
That's a good one. What would you ask?
Well, first of all, I'd invite her for Christmas, because apparently we're family.
Wait, what? You're related to her as well?
Yes.
Okay, how?
But like so distantly, but here. Okay, so this goes down a whole rabbit hole of. I don't know if you've heard that Obama's related to Brad Pitt.
No.
Did you hear that? Yeah.
I did not.
So they are, and so I'm related to Obama with her.
Yeah.
Barack.
Okay. You just call him Barack now?
Well, when you're family, that's
it's
kind of
first names. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it kind of disturbed me when I was like, okay, if I'm related to Obama and he's related to Brad Pitt, and my obsession with Brad Pitt in the 90s means that's super creepy.
Yeah.
Right?
It could be like your brother cousin.
Well, there's some pits that showed up in my tree, and I refuse to go into it, because I'm like, I don't want to find out. It just makes me very disturbed.
That's a bit creepy. Not gonna lie. That is a bit creepy. So you would sit down with her and be like, hey, Michelle, I'm assuming obviously you just call her Michelle, or M or something. That'd be a good conversation.
I mean, she's so cool. How could anybody not?
She's pretty badass.
Right?
Yeah, she's pretty badass.
Yeah.
What about somebody from history? Somebody who's dead.
Somebody who's dead. This feeds into the whole woman thing for me, which so Lucretia Coffin Mott is going to be on the back of the $10 bill here in the next however many years. But she was an abolitionist and a women's rights activist.
Yeah.
And so she basically, there's a statue of her in the Capitol Rotunda with Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton, who was credited for the leader of the women's suffrage movement.
Right.
So, given my focus and that whole thing of what I spend my activism doing, I think it would just be amazing. We would have the most amazing conversations and be right there, you know, like she and I would be right there.
What would you want to, I always wonder, like, you know, when you think about it from a woman's perspective back then, obviously I can't do that, but like you put yourself in that time, in that era, what that was like the pressure, the I don't know. I mean,
well, and then there's two things about this. So she actually just started out as an abolitionist. It wasn't about the women's rights thing. She, although she was a Quaker and believed in equality, her and Elizabeth were delegates for the World Slavery Convention in London, and they showed up, and the men there said, "Yeah, no, we don't feel like we need the women here." So they got refused, and so they said, "You know what? We're going to go back to the United States, and we're going to put the first women's conference together." And so they did, and they had it in Seneca Falls, New York. And
when was this?
This would be
Roughly.
17...
In the late 17s somewhere.
It's in the 17s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's where that started. And also her sister was an abolitionist as well, and was part of the Underground Railroad, and was best friends with Harriet Tubman. So, you know, we would just have so many things that I would be so excited to hear about.
I was going to say, like you just asked these questions, like what, I mean, where would you even start?
I don't know. It would take weeks, I'm pretty sure, to get, I mean, and to be, you know, a Quaker at that time, and a woman, and I mean, we're going through our own challenges now, obviously, but I'm sure there was just this whole other level then. I mean, you couldn't vote, you couldn't, you know, you weren't even considered, you know. I'll just leave it there. It was not great.
but it's I mean, yeah, we can move on, but it's still, like you said, when you talk about people in history and what they've been through, and you know, and obviously this is something that you're incredibly passionate about. Yeah. That's cool. It's important that sort of isn't ever forgotten, and you know.
Well, as somebody who is, I mean, to discover this during, you know, my genealogy stuff, it was a complete surprise, you know. Obviously, there's so much satisfaction in that, you know, to be like, look what I come from, you know. Like, there's a reason I have this. It's in my genes, you know.
That's why I don't look at my genealogy.
You know,
I'm from deepest, darkest England. It's not good.
Well, so that's the thing. So, King John, I'm a direct descendant of King John, which he was considered the absolute worst.
I was going to say,
king.
Not top 10.
No, literally the worst king in the entire history of kings.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, to be a direct descendant of that is not.
That's your
really, relative,
right? Pretty sure I'm not. I'm not relative. I'm not that bad.
But he's also related to every single president except for Kennedy and Van Buren.
You really have done some research. You're like legit getting on this stuff. Is this as the ancestry and the heritage and all that stuff? It obviously has made it easier. Yeah. But is it almost like, I mean, I don't want to say too easy, but part of the fun is the discovery part, right? Yes. Versus just like, oh, you're just swiping. Oh, that's cool. Swipe. Oh, that's cool as well. Yeah. Yeah. There's so much. I mean, we do not have time for Leigh to say everybody she's related to, but it is. It's just, a lot of famous people. I mean, we're all related. And Michelle. Yeah, well, and Michelle. Yeah. I mean, M. But we're all related. It's just a matter of trying to find where's that connection. Yeah. As we wrap up here, we've been, it's been a rough couple of years. We're not going to finish on a downer. This is going to be an upper, right? But it's been a rough couple of years for a lot of people. COVID sucks. I think we can all agree that. What's something good that's come out of the last couple of years for you personally? Obviously, business aside, you know. I just realized I was way overcommitted, over-scheduled, and the 2 years of being at home basically made me realize I needed to dial some of that back, and I have. And I think my stress level is at a level that's much more healthy. Was it easy?
to dial it down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding right now, because we have been opening up, and
Yeah.
that I have done better in sometimes than other times to say no, or to choose wisely with what I'm going to be doing with my time. But at least I'm making the effort, and I wasn't before.
Oh, okay. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, besides the fact that I got to be home with my kids and found out they're pretty okay. My husband's okay too.
Yeah, like it's okay. Now, would that have happened anyway? Eventually, or were you like, no? I was like just keeping on that train, going forward, plowing forward.
No, probably not.
Sounds good.
I'm a definite hit the brick upside the head, to get my attention kind of thing. Yeah.
That's cool. That's a good answer. That's really good.
Really?
Yeah.
You get the gold star already?
You do. You definitely get the gold star on that one.
Yeah. You can put it on a list, like on a plaque. Ooh, a plaque in the chamber, and said, Leigh Griffith gets
Sponsored by.
right.
Oh, from now on, I will always refer to other answers that people give as not as good as Leigh's.
Oh, perfect.
That'll be like the award.
Perfect.
Yes.
I like it.
And the Leigh Griffith Award for, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, right?
Well, thank you for being a part of this. I really appreciate it. Sorry for standing you. I stood her up twice. Twice.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, you got to own your mistakes sometimes. So,
no, it's great. I mean, this nice set. I mean, you need a disco ball, right? Could you do that?
I need a lot of things.
I got a disco ball. We could
Do you really?
I do. In my garage. Want to go?
We're not
go
putting
dance? We can go dance right now.
It's my wife's car. I was like, hey, honey, why is there a hole in my roof? No reason. He's got it.
I got.
She's related
ideas.
to Michelle. Just don't worry about it. All right, we're cutting this thing off before it gets out of hand.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for spending some time with me.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Yes.
Oh, if people want to get a hold of you, I guess we should probably give that information out, right? Who are you?
Yeah.
What's the easiest way to get a hold of you?
BellaVinoGifts.com.
Easy.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks, Simon.
We'll catch you guys on another episode of Chamber Chat. This is where we wave.